So today is AI and the future of business and how small businesses are going to evolve and how you can profit from it. Of course, some of you know me. My name's Chris Jenkins. For the last 20 years, I've lived inside a single question: how to help businesses grow. So I've been in the trenches running an agency, building websites, managing campaigns, building platforms, and working with owners who are juggling 20 things at once. Over time, the tools kept changing, but the platforms kept changing, but the core need never changed. Help me be found, help me grow, help me make this business work. That's always been the heartbeat behind Gotcha. And that's the context for what I'm going to walk you through today. So this webinar is designed to give you a clear understanding of the AI transition that's happening across small businesses, how Gotcha is positioning itself, and how our partners can benefit from it. Now, we're not doing a product demo today. We're not diving deep into the features. It's a strategic overview, where the world is moving, what small businesses will need to survive that shift, and how you can plug into the opportunity with us. At the end, if what we're building resonates with you, we'll show you how to participate as an affiliate. That's it, straightforward, no gimmicks. So if you were to zoom out, humanity moves in jumps, not lines. Fire, agriculture, printing press, the Renaissance, Industrial Revolution, the computer revolution, the internet. Every single leap created new types of work, new kinds of businesses, and people who were willing to adapt ended up with opportunities their grandparents couldn't even imagine. This is important. So progress isn't just technology evolving, it's human behavior evolving. Every revolution shifts what people do, how they work, what they value, and what they can earn. Today, we're in the middle of the next big shift, and I believe it's the one that's going to change everything. So AI is not a revolution. I see it as a portal. Revolutions make things faster. AI makes new worlds possible. This technology isn't just a better tool. It literally does what humans do, only faster, smarter, at scale, and it never needs to eat or sleep. And unlike every revolution before it, AI hits all the domains at the same time: knowledge work, sales, marketing, logistics, coding, design, finance, research, customer service, planning, operations, decision making, and so much more. AI is shaking everything up. The entire S&P 500 is flatlined. This is something I got from Bloomberg. And you can see this line down on the bottom. That's all the S&P businesses. And then the green line that's going up, that's the Magnificent Seven. They're shooting straight up. Our entire economy is being supported by 7 companies, AI companies. Just last week, McKinsey issued a report that AI could, in theory, perform 57% of the work people do now. Nations are in a mad race to achieve AGI, artificial general intelligence. Congress announced the race officially earlier in the year, and I actually watched that congressional hearing. And then in late November, the US launched the Genesis Project with the goal of doubling the productivity and impact of American science and engineering within a decade. This tells you one thing. When you see this much capital, talent, and infrastructure flooding into a single technology, you don't ask if it's real. AI is not a trend, it's the new economic foundation, and ignoring it is like ignoring electricity in 1900. You can do it, but the world you're choosing to live in won't look anything like the one everyone else is building. So trillions of value creation are concentrated in AI. Just 3 trillion alone was spent in 2025, and more than 3 trillion is expected to be spent in 2026. And just to give you context, if $1 equaled 1 second, $1,000,000 would be 11 days, $1 billion would be 32 years, and $1 trillion would be 32,000 years. I mean, $1 trillion is a massive number. And it's freely flowing into AI. This tells you one thing. When you see this much capital, talent, infrastructure, AI is real. So what does that mean for people in their jobs, right? We just mentioned 57% AI can already do that work. So this slide shows the economic transition from human-run companies to AI-run autonomous companies. So the blue line is traditional human earning power and jobs. The orange line is automation and AI autonomy. Over time, AI systems and robots do more and more of the work. And then we hit a crossover point where humans are no longer the primary workers in most companies. This doesn't mean no humans. It means humans move up the stack, less repetitive labor, more ownership, strategy, and oversight of AI systems. The winners are the people and businesses who position themselves on the right side of this curve, plugged into platforms that can actually run the day-to-day. That's exactly the space Gotcha is building in. Every part of the white-collar economy is now on a countdown clock. So what about agencies? Agencies right now are trying to pivot by taking the same services they've always sold, campaigns, content, websites, funnels, automations, and simply wrapping AI around them. The problem is that this model is built entirely on outputs. You're selling deliverables, right? You're selling things you produce. In an AI-driven world, anything that is output-based eventually becomes a commodity. That's really important when you're looking at the things that you are delivering to customers. If it's output-based, it becomes a commodity very quickly. So here's what always happens when something becomes a commodity. So on the first layer, the price drops. Why? Well, AI lowers the effort and lowers the skill barrier. Suddenly, everyone can produce the same thing, right? So price has to drop, competition. Then on the second layer, the margin drops. Agencies start undercutting each other. Tools start competing with services. Everything becomes replaceable. And getting to that customer becomes harder and harder. And then finally, the client just stops buying, because the moment an SMB can do it themselves, use an AI, they will. Not because they don't like the agency, but because cost matters, time matters, and the deliverables feel good enough. I don't know if you're like me, but I've dealt with companies who didn't deliver the best that they could in the terms of a website or marketing or social posting or whatever. They didn't deliver as good as they could have, but they delivered good enough. And good enough is good enough for a small business. This is the part of the agency that the agency world isn't seeing clearly yet. Anything built on deliverables collapses once AI can generate those deliverables instantly. The middle layer disappears, the output becomes self-service, and the agency becomes optional. What cannot be commoditized is the actual operation of a business. Diagnosing it, automating it, integrating systems, running the digital engine, and improving everything over time. That's why the traditional agency model won't survive the AI era. And that's also the exact opening that Gotcha stepped into. Now let's shift to the other side of the table, the small business owners. These are the people you sell to, I sell to. These are the clients that we depend on. So, what's their reality? Well, they're overwhelmed by technology. They don't know what AI is or how to use it exactly. Their marketing is usually fragmented and inconsistent. They don't have clean data. They're invisible in search. Their websites and pages are outdated. Their operations are a mess. They don't have time to manage all their vendors, and they have no idea what's working and what's not. And I know that everybody on this call knows what that feels like because we also are small businesses. And we encounter this, if not still, we encounter this. This is the SMB struggle, and the goal is to overcome it. Most SMBs don't need more tools. They don't need another software subscription. They don't need a one-time AI audit. They need someone to actually run their digital engine for them. That's the gap in the market. And AI is accelerating the chaos. And SMBs are already underwater. So agencies aren't solving the crisis. They're selling outputs when SMBs need operations. What they want is not help using AI. What they want is help running their business in an AI-powered world. Most SMBs don't need more tools. They don't need another software subscription. They don't need a one-time AI audit. They need someone to actually run their digital engine for them, and that's the gap. So when I realized this, and believe me, I saw it, I realized it. I'm a hardcore user of AI. I mean, I saw it. I was like, what am I going to do? I mean, I get it, but I feel like it's a treadmill. No matter what products, what we develop, what we produce, is just it's like piling up a pile of rocks, and those rocks continually get smaller and smaller, and you keep trying to pile stuff on it that are going to make a difference. And I saw that, and I just really didn't know what I was going to do. But then I thought, what if I built my own AI? What if I built an operating system for small businesses? What if I created a sovereign AI, not centralized, not controlled, but basically powered by our platform? And we went all in. I mean, really, we did. We purchased servers, we purchased NVIDIA GPUs, we bought local infrastructure, and we're architecting a full business operating system for small businesses. We call this GIA, and this is the moment we stopped being a digital agency. And Gotchi is now 100% an AI technology company building the SMB operating system of the future. I've invested heavily in it. Everybody in the company is on board. ROS will diagnose businesses, uncover what's broken, recommend solutions, deploy and run them, and do so much more. We'll literally run the entire digital layer for businesses. And we're doing this for one reason. Small businesses are entering the AI era unprepared, and our platform is the solution. Again, it's made up of three parts: diagnostics, intelligence, and orchestration. And we're perfectly primed for this because after 15 years and tens of thousands of businesses and analysis and studies, we really know what it takes, right? We know what it takes. Just like you guys have honed your skills and your craft in what you've been doing for the last decade or more. You know how to do what you do. And if you were able to take all that intelligence and pack it into a machine that can execute, you would have great output. That's kind of the premise behind what we're doing. And I get this a lot. People are like, well, why aren't the big guys doing it? Well, you really have to understand AI. You have to understand frontier models and their business plans. Frontier AI is general AI. It's generalized AI. In other words, you can go to your AI and you can say, hey, have you read, I don't know, The Invisible Web, by Stedman and Price? Have you read that book? And your AI will say, yeah, I read it. what can I do for you? You want me to summarize the book? You want me to call out some key points? It literally was trained and it read that book, right? But if you say, tell me what's on the first page of that book, it can't tell you, right? It doesn't have the book stored in its memory. It was trained on that book. No different than if you went through a training course and at the end of the training course, you got your certificate of completion. You are now trained to do X. That is what AI, frontier AI, is trained to do. Answer general questions. It has the knowledge. It's very smart. It can perform computations and formulas. It is wicked cool. And we all know it. 100 billion users a week says we know it. Our AI is very specific. We have AI. I have frontier models installed on our servers, in our sandbox. We're playing with it every day. I have it. But it's general AI. What we are doing is fine-tuning it for specifications unique and needed for small business owners. So that's a huge difference. Frontier AI, they're building general AI. We're building something specific for SMB operations. Now our plan, and I'm just going to touch on it because we're not here to sell you anything. We're here to tell you, like I just did, what's going on in AI, where are the trends moving, what's happening, what's the future going to look like, what Gotcha is doing to protect ourselves from all the inevitable change, and then the one thing that we can do with partners, and that is we're building a self do it for you system. Doesn't require anybody other than the SMB, other than the business and the business's team. It'll do everything for them. So the good news is people can just refer leads to our diagnostics tool. When they go through and they run the diagnostics, if they continue forward and subscribe or use the platform, then our affiliates get 15% of the work and they don't have to do anything. And that's reoccurring for the life of the customer. So pretty good deal. Why are we doing that? Because I want growth. I want massive growth. We have built, GLIs is one of the most powerful diagnostic tools I have ever seen. And this thing is deep dive, it's organized, and it gives one heck of a snapshot of the business, what it could be, where it is, and what it needs to do to get there. And, I want to grow this thing huge. I guess survival depends on it.